Hi, I'm Eric Bolling in for Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. We're going to get right to our top story, Donald Trump versus the media. Mr. Trump has sought to make peace with the media this week after a blistering campaign inviting big TV bigwigs to Trump Tower and sitting down for an interview at the New York Times headquarters. But the hostility from the media hasn't stopped. President-elect Trump has denounced white supremacist groups several times, but that hasn't stopped the mainstream press from incessantly bringing up the topic. Here's Republican National Committee spokesman Sean Spicer on CNN yesterday.
Should he go out and deliver a speech specifically denouncing these neo-Nazis, these white supremacists?
When is it going to be enough? He has condemned everyone that's come out and supported him, every group that supported him. At some point, you've got to take, his position and go move on.
But he doesn't seem to go out of his way to express his outrage over people hailing him with Nazi salutes. Why doesn't he do that more dramatically, if you will, and make it clear he wants no part of these people?
Because I think it's asked and answered, Wolf. You've asked me eight times the same question. I've told you what his position is. It's the news media over and over and over again asking the same question.
Meanwhile, a short time ago, President-elect Donald Trump again went around the traditional media and made a pitch directly to the American people in a Thanksgiving message.
We've just finished a long and bruising political campaign. Emotions are raw and tensions just don't heal overnight. It doesn't go quickly, unfortunately. But we have before us the chance now to make history together, to bring real change to Washington, real safety to our cities, and real prosperity to our communities, including our inner cities. So important to me and so important to our country. But to succeed, we must enlist the effort of our entire nation.
Joining us now for reaction from Stamford, Connecticut is Ari Fleischer, who served as White House press secretary under George W. Bush. Ari, thanks for joining us. So, I look back maybe 10 or 12 days ago. President-elect Donald Trump looked into the 60 Minutes camera and said, stop it. He was disavowing the alt-right. He was disavowing bigotry. And then just yesterday, he gets asked time and time again by the New York Times reporters, hey, will you disavow? And he disavowed. How much more do they want? What is the love affair of the left with this alt-right movement scandal or controversy?
Well, it's deeper than that. Look, the press swooned over Barack Obama, and they're in despair over Donald Trump. And that's what's driving all this. Compare it to what happened in 2008 when Louis Farrakhan, the head of the Nation of Islam, endorsed Barack Obama when he was running in the Democratic primary. Farrakhan explicitly came out for Obama. Obama repudiated it, said he wasn't interested in his endorsement. But then he said, Barack Obama did, I can't say to somebody that he can't say that he thinks I'm a good guy. Now, do you remember, Eric, did the press go nuts about Farrakhan and Obama in 2008? Did they demand every interview that Obama repudiate Louis Farrakhan? It was barely a blip in the press's radar compared to this. And I would argue these two groups are the mirror opposite of each other. So why did the press do it to the right? They did it to the left. Because they support the left, they oppose Donald Trump.
On the Farrakhan issue, Keith Ellison is running and wants to be the head of the DNC. He wrote positive things about Louis Farrakhan in the past, but you wouldn't hear that in the liberal mainstream media. Let me move on a little bit. Monday, the USA Today wrote a piece, a very high-profile piece at the top of their website, comparing the election of Donald Trump to 3 moments in American history. And listen to what they were. The Civil War, the assassination of Reverend Martin Luther King, Jr., and Nixon's resignation. Now, those are the things that you're comparing, the next president to. This is how they see this.
That's what I mean. They're in despair. Look, think about it this way, too. They describe Barack Obama's presidency as historic because the first African-American elected. If Hillary won, it also would have been called historic, first woman. Donald Trump's the first businessman, the first outsider. Are they calling Donald Trump's election historic? No, they're calling it pretty much the opposite, whatever they can say about it being a continuation of tragedy. This is what happens when you have a press corps that consists almost entirely of Democrats and liberals passing judgment about these events. It's why Barack Obama had a honeymoon that lasted almost his entire presidency, and Donald Trump won't get one at all.
Well, okay, so Donald Trump yesterday went over to the New York Times. He went to the New York Times to meet and greet and actually was, gracious enough to do an on-the-record meeting. Part of that meeting was on the record. Wow, that was amazing. Will he now get a fair shake from the New York Times?
Oh, no, he won't get a fair shake from anybody in the media. Look, the media is already fired up to oppose virtually all that he does. And you can see that in the negative headlines. You can see it in the tenor and the tone in which he is covered, and get used to it. There is going to be no cordial relationship between Donald Trump and the press. The same type of coverage they used during the campaign is what they're going to use now. What intrigues me is how Donald Trump has a unique ability to push back and fight back, and in large part because the press has made themselves so unpopular throughout the country. According to the Gallup poll, they have the lowest approval rating and trust ratings from the American people in Gallup's polling history. So when the press brings this on themselves, it's not a surprise that when Trump punches back, most of the American people don't agree with the press corps. The press has isolated itself. It's made itself out to be a group that we have to depend on in this country for the First Amendment and to keep a government in check, including to keep Donald Trump in check. I believe in that goal of the press. But they've lost too much of their credibility to do it, and they've lost too many of the American people along the way.
Who needs whom more? I know we both need each other, but who needs whom more? Does Donald Trump need the press on his side, or does the press need to at least look at what he's doing? He's already gone around.
Right.
His first policy delivery was via videotape on Facebook, I believe, and this one as well. Who needs whom more?
You know, time and technology change everything. During the Bush administration, if we released a video like that, we couldn't have, because it would have been perceived as government propaganda, because there was no Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or other platforms to carry that message. We had to go through the media. Barack Obama has paved the way for Donald Trump to go around the media. President Obama took advantage of technology, properly so, to put out a lot of messages himself and to ignore the White House press corps. That's only going to grow even more pronounced as Donald Trump takes control of those same technologies and tools left behind at the White House. So, yeah, he's going to be able to go around the White House press corps a lot. What's fascinating, again, though, is Donald Trump also goes through the press corps. Interview with the New York Times, interview with the Wall Street Journal, interview with 60 Minutes. Trump has this fascinating ability to go around them and go through them and complain about them at the same time.
He's able to work them very, very well. I'm going to say thank you very much.